morning, Nigeria. A new week dawns, full of questions for our politics, our economy, and our future. I am Samson Balogun.
And I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. Welcome to Daybreak Live, where we make sense of the issues shaping the nation's heartbeat.
All right, good morning to you, Yemi. Let's begin with the energy. Of course, we are going to the energy sector. The story is both urgent and unsettling. Pengassan has ordered the suspension of gas supply to the Dangote refinery. For a refinery hailed as Nigeria's greatest hope for energy independence, this standoff signals more than an industrial dispute. It hints at a looming fuel crisis that could rattle homes, businesses, and government policy alike.
This isn't just about fee queues, it's about power, the power of labor unions, the influence of government, and the might of corporate interests. And right now, all three are on a collision course.
Honestly, later on, we'll bring you Daybreak news and headlines and analysis to break down the day's pressing issues and their political undercurrents.
And in our big story, we step into history and tradition. We will be revisiting the coronation of the 44th Olubadan, an event that speaks not only to culture but also to identity and continuity.
Of course, we were there live, so there's a lot to talk about.
Definitely.
Joining us for that conversation is none other than Oba Ademola of Yoruba land, a custodian of heritage, a man deeply rooted in tradition, and a voice of authority on what leadership and cultural preservation mean in our time.
We'll wrap up with trend words scanning the pulse of Nigeria, share the conversations and controversies driving the day.
All right, it's Monday morning, and the spotlight is on power, culture, and the people. Shall we begin?
Yes, for sure.
Good morning to
you,
Top of the morning to you.
Yeah.
Good to be back here after
Definitely.
the coronation of the Olubadan of Ibadan land. That was
a day in history.
A day in history, absolutely. And of course, it was at the historic Mapole. So creating history at the historic Mapole, I think that is, some rhymes there.
Definitely.
Right, moving down to the power sector. The Pengassan has, just like I think we discussed it some times ago, that it might actually lead to this. They have actually discussed, saying, look, we'll cut off power, gas supply to Dangote refinery. And then that brings Dangote refinery, the federal government, Pengassan, to a point. Where do we go from here? And the question is, who is sabotaging who at this point? Honestly,
when I watched an interview yesterday with the chairman of Pengassan, he was asked a question and he said he thinks Dangote is the one trying to sabotage the economy. And, it's a question that Nigerians are trying to answer, because if you check online, I think Nigerians are divided on this matter. Some are supporting Pengassan, while others are supporting Dangote. Why are some people supporting Pengassan? Because Dangote sacked about 800 workers, and then the report we got was that some foreign workers were left alone. It was just like the Nigerian workers that were sacked. So Nigerians are asking, why should Dangote sack those people when there was like a resolution? When something happened, when an issue happened with Dangote and Openg, when the federal government tried to enter the matter to see how they can resolve the matter. So I think it's a sad situation, because in all of this, the people, the masses will bear the brunt of this whole thing.
Right.
Now, because Pengassan is saying we are going to embark on a strike. Okay, the federal government through the labor movement is trying to have a conversation with the leadership of Pengassan and then Dangote. But then I don't know why we keep having issues like this. Let me also mention one thing that Dangote himself said in an interview that he granted outside of the country. He said, "I never knew that the oil industry mafia are stronger than the drug cartel. It is a big cartel, and I will say it anyway." So the issue now is, it looks as if, okay, this issue is is because of the sacked workers, and then the Pengassan trying to speak for them. But it's beyond that. If you look at it, this issue is beyond, okay, some workers were sacked, because even before Dangote sacked some workers, there's been a lot of issues before then. And then another argument that Festus Osifo is talking about is the fact that Dangote was given one license to actually import, the likes of salt, the likes of, flavor and the likes, and then the federal government subsidized FX for him. Basically, it's trying to say that, the Nigerian government found a way to make sure that, it was easy for him to build the refinery. Let's not forget that he's the owner of his money, regardless of the fact that, okay, those things were put in place to ensure that, it was a smooth ride for him. So I think it's a big issue. I think the federal government should come into this matter to find a way to put an end to all of this, because if the strike continues, NISO has come out yesterday to say that if the strike should start and then the federal government, is unable to do anything above the matter, it can affect electricity supply, not just, fuel scarcity.
That's
so
right.
these are the issues that we need to look at, honestly.
You see, basically, let's break it down a little bit because it's important and pertinent that that is done. If you look at the current situation, for Dangote as a businessman, wouldn't want you to take the steering of his own company away from him. So he's trying to survive at this time. And, you know, sometimes when billionaires make some decisions, you really cannot force them. And, you know, sacking 800 workers, yes, their families will feel the impact of this decision. But, you know, what he was trying to do is, if you are joining Pengasan, you can work with me. And if this is the current situation, just imagine you are driving a vehicle and then someone comes in and says, look, I'm taking this steering away from you. And you are still in the driving seat. So it's a problem. If care is not taken, the two of you are heading for, you know, a collision course. At this time, I don't really think there is too much anyone can do about this situation unless it is totally resolved. Sometimes we use that there's an approach we use in Nigeria. It's just the surface approach. Let's just you know, cosmetics approach. Let's just fix things, and then over time this thing will still reoccur. And we have always done that, especially with labor. Sometimes there are requests being made, and then they will agree. Okay, we are going to. Is that what you want? We are going to give you, and then they will sign an agreement. In 2 years, this will be done, and then after 2 years, it will seem as if like you know, there was no agreement whatsoever because it will not be visited. Now, if at this point, what exactly do you think Dangote Refinery can do? Dangote as a businessman, you know, someone who has gone to the bank to say, look, I'm sure this business will thrive in Nigeria. Nigeria has no functioning refinery. And then if you have a refinery of this capacity that can supply Nigerians, supply other African countries, and even export outside Africa. And that's what he's currently doing. You know, over a few days ago, there was an issue about Naira for crude approach, and then, you know, eventually it was resolved. They went back to that because at that point, Dangote stopped, you know, supply of, you know, petrol and diesel to, you know, Nigerian filling stations. And then the question is, if we continue at this trend, is relief in sight for the Nigerian people? Because the headache of listening to the news about, oh, Dangote is going to stop supplying crude to petrol to Nigerians. Oh, the federal government has stopped supplying Dangote crude. Oh, Dangote has imported crude from America. Dangote is doing this. Oh, the federal government is doing that. It has become more of an headache to the Nigerian people. And there is no headway in sight as it stands.
Honestly, and some Nigerians are asking, what is it that Pengasan has done for Nigerians over time? Do not forget, there's a video that is circulating online now, you know, the former head of state, Abacha, you know, when he suspended the activities of Pengasan and Nupeng over some, you know, unrest in the society. But then, I feel this is a democratic system of government. There's a better way the government can come into this matter to resolve it once and for all. Because Nigerians deserve a better society, you know, a situation whereby they can afford fuel. So I think at this point in time, something should be done urgently. And I don't know what is being discussed when they have these meetings. Because, I mean, there was a meeting that was held with Dangote
recently,
and Nupeng. Yeah. Now it's Pengasan. So if this one is not resolved early, another sector will rise up to say, okay, Dangote this and Dangote that. So in all of this, I think the masses will bear the brunt. So if the government is not stepping or will not step in, you know, into this matter earlier, that's my piece. That's my decision on this. And then one more thing. Do you know that there's a particular university in this country that came to a conclusion that we are not going to be part of ASU strike anymore.
Right.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Because, I mean, nothing happened. So why is it so much of a big deal that Dangote is saying, I do not want my workers to be a part of this union? Yeah. Honestly, we should begin to look at this, because whether we look at it or not, it's a private-owned refinery.
That was what brought about the question I asked you earlier about who is sabotaging who at this point. I think Pengasan, the associations generally, Nupeng, Pengasan, they are the ones giving Nigerians problem. Because if Dangote has come and said, look, I'm employing Nigerians, yes, but I do not want my employees to join your association. Now, the question is, why don't you check yourselves and see what exactly you have done in the last few years and see how that has impacted the Nigerian people and how that has had an effect on the supply of fuel in the country. I think they still want to be in control. And, you know, Pengasan, and I want to, you know, borrow the term used by Dr. Babatunde Babasoya, who said, you know, Dangote, Pengasan and other associations, they are just like, you know, a dying snake that will not die easily. Dangote is saying, look, I do not want you near my business. and you are hell-bent on being a part of that business. So he has every right to say, look, you have worked with me, and I think because you have joined another association, you all have to go. I'm recruiting fresh people. Don't forget, recently, it was in the news that Dangote said, look, I can supply every filling station in Nigeria at no cost. Let the cost be on me. And they're saying, look, it's a white elephant project. It is this, it is that. Dangote does not mean well for the people. I think Nigerians are better off with this offer from Dangote. And at least nobody will say we are going on strike because of this. And there will be constant fuel supply to all filling stations in the country. The problem Nigerians have is not about the price per se. It's about availability. If it is always available, I think, okay, when fuel subsidy was removed, there were a lot of back and forth, and then over time, people forgot about it. They have made it part of their daily routines to spend extra on whatever it is they want to do because they know fuel is more expensive now. And all they want is it available? Can we afford it? Then let's go. So nobody should obstruct or truncate that. And I think no association should be given the liberty to do so. And that's exactly why Dangote is saying, look, I do not want to be a part of your association. And no employee of mine will want to be a part of it. And as long as they want to be a part of it, they no longer work with me.
And of course, I think, Dangote coming into the sector has altered a lot of things. And just like you mentioned, it's beyond sacking 800 workers. It's beyond all of those. So the government should find a way to look at the underlying issues and then find lasting solution. We don't have to, suspend the activities of NUPENG and, Penkasan. It's a democratic system of government. I think there's a better way to handle the situation. But I know another update will come on this matter just before we leave, before the close of the day. Because, I mean, they've been summoned, honestly.
All right, thank you for being a part of the show so far. And this show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. And on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Do well to subscribe to that channel and, of course, click the notification button. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Now, let's go on a quick break. When we return, it's time to take weather report on this star. We'll be back after this time out.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Time to prepare you for the day ahead with weather report. And of course, we'll be starting from the southwest this morning, Ibadan to be precise, as weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius right here in Ibadan right now. And later in the morning, it will be mostly cloudy at 26 degrees Celsius. And there will be thunderstorms in the afternoon at 28 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy in the evening at 24 degrees Celsius, and cloudy overnight at 23 degrees Celsius in Ibadan today.
All right, let's cross over to Ilorin East Kwara. Weather feels like 26 degrees Celsius this morning, cloudy around 16%. In the afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms around 50%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 10%. Overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 21%. That's what we have for Ilorin East Kwara. this morning. Do well to prepare for that.
Right, moving down to Ogun, Abeokuta to be precise, this morning. We take weather report as it currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius in Abeokuta this morning. And later in the morning it will rise to 26 degrees Celsius and it will be cloudy right there in Abeokuta. There will be scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius. And it will be mostly cloudy in the evening at 25 degrees Celsius. And cloudy overnight at 24 degrees Celsius in Abeokuta, Ogun State today.
All right, let's cross over to Ekiti East. Ekiti this morning, weather feels like 21 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 25 degrees Celsius. Scattered thunderstorms around 44%. In the afternoon, 26 degrees Celsius. Scattered thunderstorms around 43%. And in the evening, 22 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 13%. Overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 10%. That's what we have for Ekiti this morning.
Moving on to the Center of Excellence, Lagos State this morning. Weather currently feels like 25 degrees Celsius in Lagos. Today, it will be mostly cloudy later in the morning at 26 degrees Celsius. Also mostly cloudy in the afternoon at 28 degrees Celsius. And also mostly cloudy in the evening, 26 degrees Celsius. Overnight, the same at 25 degrees Celsius today.
All right, let's cross over to Oshogbo this morning. Weather feels like 23 degrees Celsius and later in the morning is expected to be around 26 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 16%. In the afternoon, 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 24%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 18%. Overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 19%. That's what we have for Oshogbo, Osun State this morning.
All right, up north in the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, today, weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. And it will be cloudy later in the morning at 25 degrees Celsius. There will be thunderstorms in the afternoon at 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, and later in the evening and overnight at 22 degrees Celsius and 23 degrees Celsius, respectively.
All right, let's cross over to Suleja on Niger. Weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius this morning. Expected to be around 25 degrees Celsius later this morning. Cloudy around 10%. In the afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, 33% for isolated thunderstorms. And in the evening, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 20%. Overnight, 22 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 17%. That's what we have for Suleja, Niger this morning. Do well to prepare for that.
All right, further in the north, in Kaduna this morning, weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. It will be cloudy later in the morning at 26 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy in the afternoon at 29 degrees Celsius. It will be also partly cloudy in the evening and overnight at 23 and 22 degrees Celsius, respectively, in Kaduna today.
Let's cross over to Kano. Weather this morning feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning, expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny, around 1%. In the afternoon, 33 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, around 0%. Wow. In the evening, 27 degrees Celsius, mostly clear, around 2%. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly clear, around 7%. That's what we have for Kano this morning.
And lastly, on weather report this morning, we'll move straight to the south-south, and that's Port Harcourt to be precise. At 21 degrees Celsius is the current weather situation in Port Harcourt as we speak. And later in the morning, it will rise to 24 degrees Celsius, and by afternoon, it will be cloudy at 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy at 21 degrees Celsius respectively in the evening and overnight in Port Harcourt. And that will be all on weather report this morning. We say thank you for joining us so far on the Daybreak Live. Let's go on a quick break. When we return with the news, we'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has said that the problem of Nigeria did not start with the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Akume said these at a special service organized to mark the 65th anniversary of the Independence Day celebration at the National Ecumenical Center in Abuja. He further stated that President Tinubu has commenced robust reforms to address some of the challenges. The federal government has dismissed claim by some international platforms and online commentators that terrorists in Nigeria are carrying out a systematic genocide against Christians. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement described the claims as false, divisive and harmful to Nigeria's peace. He stressed that Nigeria's security challenges should not be misrepresented as religiously motivated. The Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, has unveiled a one-stop shop initiative aimed at reducing cargo clearance times from an average of 21 days to 48 hours. According to a statement issued by the service and posted on X handle, OSS was unveiled during a meeting with NCS management and customs area controllers in Abuja. It stressed that the reform is designed to sanitize operations, reduce duplication of effort, and ensure predictability in customs procedures. The chairman of the Ekiti State Universal Basic Education Board, Femi Akinwumi, has said that the state government has awarded contracts for the renovation of over 250 infrastructural projects in schools in the state. Akinwumi, in a statement in Ado Ekiti, reacted to a viral video of a school, St. Wesley Primary School, Omo Ekiti, in Ekiti East local government area, having a block of classrooms flooded following the blow-off of the roof by a rainstorm. The suburb boss stated that these contractors will soon begin work on the project, which included several thousand of the furniture projects under the 2024 Universal Basic Education Commission suburb. In business, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria has directed its members nationwide to withdraw their services following the alleged mass dismissal of some Nigerian workers by Dangote Refinery. This was announced in a circular issued following an emergency National Executive Council meeting signed by General Secretary Lumumba Okubawa. The union accused the refinery of violating Nigeria's labor laws, the Constitution and International Labour Organization conventions by dismissing workers for joining the association. And in sports this morning, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has declared his administration's readiness to provide the necessary infrastructure and support to host a Super Eagles match at the Lagos Salami Stadium in Ibadan. Makinde made this known while declaring open the 81st Annual General Assembly of the Nigeria Football Federation held in Ibadan. Makinde also advocated a single-term tenure for sports administrators in Nigeria, which is said would promote accountability, stability, and better performance in sports governance. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and X at Dominion Cast. That's the break news. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. This morning I have with me Temitope Ishola, historian and public affairs analyst, and of course Dr. Babatunde Babasoya, a medical consultant and public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. Good morning to you. Let's start from the story that says there is no religious genocide or persecution in Nigeria. That's coming from the federal government. International bodies and, of course, members of this country are saying it appears Nigerians, or let me say Christians, are more attacked in this country, looking at the activities of bandits and terrorists. What do you make of the story, really?
I think the government is just insincere, as usual.
Okay.
You can't expect anything less when they put out statements like that. They obviously have to appear defensive and are protecting their own image, as it were. But I think figures and facts that have been thrown around lately, if true, indicate something is going on. So the life of every single individual matters. So, and in a situation where you're getting to find out that over 7,000 Christians are being killed, and over thousands of churches are being burnt in the northern area of Nigeria, then it begs to question that there's something wrong. It's different if it's just a one-off incident, but at that consistency with that figures, it means that there's a deliberate ploy by certain sections or certain individuals to exterminate Christians in the north. So rather than the government trying to absolve themselves of blame or pretend as if there is no issue, they should actually welcome such statistics and find out, institute an investigation to even find out what are the root cause. So it means that with the way they are even giving those responses, it means that they are not even aware, in quotes, I want to presume so. And it also means that they are not that bothered that certain citizens in that quantity, in that numbers, their lives are being threatened, some have lost their lives. So it just tells you a lot about how the government perceive security, how they basically function security-wise. So there's a lot to be questioned there. Initially, when I saw the news over last week into the weekend, I wasn't so sure, because over here in Nigeria, the media is quiet about it. It had to be individuals from the Bill Maher, or one of the TV pundits in the United States, was the first person to raise an alarm with regards to it. And what was it basically doing? It was comparing it with Palestine. Everyone is talking about Gaza, Israel's role and the likes. And it just brought the incident in Nigeria just to juxtapose it, that if there's an outcry in the magnitude it is on Israel, that's warranted countries to walk out on the Israel Prime Minister, the ongoing United Nations and General Assembly. And he said, okay, what is the difference between it and what is going on in Nigeria currently? And the media is quiet, and our own government is quiet, basically. So I believe that there's something going wrong. We can all trace it to Boko Haram. We can all trace it to terrorism and the likes. But I think government doesn't have a firm control of what is going on in the north. And because there's this media blackout sort of over there in the north, I'm sure these figures are even much more than this.
Okay, thank you. Let me turn to Doctor. Do you agree with that notion? Don't you think, Muslims and other religion adherents are also victims of the activities of terrorists and bandits?
I will say yes, I will say no. There are a lot of things to unpack here.
Okay.
Bill Maher was trying to put up a position, which, frankly, number one, what Israel is doing is being done by the state of Israel. It's the might of Israel that is doing it. Okay. In Nigeria, it is the incompetence of Nigeria government that is allowing this to happen. These are the two technical different things, very different. The state of Israel is committing genocide, attempting to wipe out the Palestinians so that they can move in, period. The people committing killing in the north as non-state actors. But, as I have said repeatedly here and otherwise, one of the areas where this President Tinubu had failed, abysmally failed, is in the constitution and in the effectiveness of his security people. By now, maybe I will have fired the 4th IG of police by now. It will not be Egbetokun. And Egbetokun's memory will have been so far distant that people will, when you mention his name, they will be like, Egbe what? Egbe what? I will say, they will be reminding you, it will be, because I will have fired him 6 months into my tenure. Immediately, there have been many cases where he should have been fired, but he was not fired.
We said he ought to have left office.
I don't care whether he should have left office. I don't want him to leave office. I want him to be fired.
Okay.
To show that There is a consequence for you failing at that level. When the National Security Advisor came on air and said that God is going to punish people who are stealing weapons from the Nigerian armory, the next day that guy is gone. Those are not things that you do and you go home. You don't go home. You say it, they call you from there. Go to jail like Monopoly. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 pounds. Straightforward. Now, that should not be something that we should debate.
Okay.
The crisis from till now, Jonathan was the Chibok origin. Have we had a competent panel of inquiry to say this is where the problem came from? These were the people that were complicit. These were just incompetent people. These were just the victims. Till now, Jonathan's time. The attack on Kuje prison. For those, see, this is again, the press are complicit. There is nowhere you are going to interrogate this matter. We will put the press there. You should don't forget that this is not the government of the United States talking. This is one man, a journalist in the United States.
What about the limitations of the press?
There is no limitation to the press.
Okay.
Until you put limitation in your presence, then there is no limitation. Nobody said you couldn't go to Kuje prison and run a documentary there.
What about safety?
Of who?
Of this pressman.
Which pressman?
Can you go with security, man?
When don't let me mention name.
Okay.
There are pressmen who had gone into Maiduguri, into Boko Haram. There are pressmen who had gone to interview what's that name? Dango Abidan, whatever his name is. They've gone there are pressmen who had gone into territories controlled in this country. And they had gone and they had come back and they had given us the transmission. This is what we went to do there.
The militant issue was high. We had pressmen going into the creeks.
To go and interview them to, well, what is your problem? We had that. These are not even pressmen attached to the conventional press houses. These are individual people who will just take camera, take this one, and put up something on internet, on YouTube, and then go there and say, we're going to bring your cases to Nigeria. We're going to say, what is your problem?
Let's tell your story.
We're going to tell your story. Tell your story yourself. Then they carry camera into the creeks. Do you know what it takes to go to the creeks? Even the Nigerian Navy is embarrassed to go to the creeks. And I don't know who, I don't care who is the commander, who is the admiral of the Nigerian Navy. I will see summarily. Army, summarily. I don't know what Tinubu is looking for. I don't know what he wants to achieve. I don't know where he wants his loyalty to lie. But in the area of security, if we are going to judge him on that area, the failure is abysmal.
And there's a reason why. And I think it's also expedient that we also clarify that. This is happening because he has prioritized the safety of himself over the safety of the country.
In what
so
sense? When
you have incompetent individuals that parade themselves around you as bootlickers, stooges, and you put them in the role of commanders of the security architecture of the country, their loyalty is to him, to protect him, to ensure there is no coup, there is no mutiny and the likes against him. That's what they prioritize as their official role. So if you check the IGP, anything that concerns the average masses, it does anyhow. But let him hear that you are standing up, you want to make a move, protest against the president. That's where you see all the bones in his body coming out.
Temi, let's really talk about it. I'll love Doctor to also weigh on this matter before we move to another talking point. There are claims by some activists in this country that, you know, this issue of insecurity has continued because of the influence of some international bodies unknown to the public. And now most of these people, you know, from outside of country, outside of the Nigeria, are coming out to say, okay, insecurity is on the high, whereas we have some international persons, you know, sponsoring some of these people's activities.
Okay, yeah, I admit there are truths to that, and I think I would put that on the basis of the facts coming out now. I'm trying to remember the name of the committee in the United States, in their Rep and Senate House, when they tried to dismantle USAID.
Okay.
So the dismantling of USAID exposed the fact that America funded Boko Haram, funded the formation of, I've forgotten the other rival militant terrorist group in Nigeria. They funded the establishment, they funded every single thing, because all of a sudden we saw that people that could not read English, that did not go to school, suddenly could undo I've forgotten the name. Is it this missile stuff that can attack a flight, a plane going overhead, And the equipment they were handling were basically equipment that was how would I put it? Even the military, in some ways, did not have them at their disposal at the magnitude at which these guys had them. And they had cash, a lot of cash in their hands. So already, it indicates that, yes, there's a problem. It indicates that something was going on. So in some ways, because of the manner at which this government has also come in, I've always said, and I keep maintaining it throughout the electoral cycle the last time, I said, if someone emerges not on the base of the will of the people, he is not bound to honor any agreement with it. Because elections, politics is basically like a social contract where the people say, oh, we give you our votes, we take our authority and we vest it in your hands to undo it on our behalf. If you go into those places through the back door, through on external influences and the likes, you are beholden to the powers that be, you are beholden to the people that brought you there, and not to the people. And that was what's playing out today. Whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, whether the media communicate it or not, we all went to school as most of us that went to school, and we've been taught how to at least know right from wrong. If you look at the basic information on ground during the election cycle, the Chicago issues, the FBI statement, you can already link a lot of things that the current president that we have is not totally beholden to Nigerian, but to other interests at play that ensured his emergence as the president. So it happens that all of those things, it would always revert to them in areas like this. And in the area of security, before he makes a move, all of those things are happening. And truly, the media plays, not even the media, the international scene, they have this sideways where they can cause problems and still be the same set of persons to come out and say, oh, there's a problem. So I know that there's that part in it. But at the same time, I don't want us always pointing fingers at the influences of these other individuals, because at the home front, I still feel you have a duty to your home country to ensure that lives are safe. I'm sure the reason why there's still this bit of calm is because the Southwest is a bit relaxed. And like I said, even this incident that popped up now, most of us don't even know the extent of what is going on in the North, because there's a sort of media blackout over there. So we don't even know what is really going on. And I'm just thankful that I'm in the South. But sadly also, I have people across the North and the likes. And there's always that constant worry. For instance, I can admit I've escaped a Boko Haram attack when I was in Kaduna. Just by 30 minutes, the park I left was blown up. So that's my up-close encounters with such individuals. So there's a lot going on, and the media did not even make noise about it. So international organizations have their own part, admittedly. The Nigerian government also has their own part, admittedly. So rather than, and international functions, an outsider will not come and rob your home if someone within your home did not open the doors to them.
Let me hear from Doctor. What's your take on that matter?
The conclusion is that until the wall opens its mouth, lizards cannot crawl into any crevice there. You know, so let's just agree that this government has insecurity as incompetence. Just exit. I'm not debating. This government has no capacity to sort out security in Nigeria. At federal, at state, at every level, the primary purpose of government by law shall be the welfare and the security of the lives and properties of the citizens. The primary duty of government shall be the security and welfare of lives and properties of the citizen, period. So every other thing that you do, you want to improve their life, quality of life, whatever. Those are secondary qualities. So when you now advance secondary qualities over primary qualities, common sense has left the window. It's straightforward. You just realize that common sense is no longer with you at that time. The primary purpose of human being is to be a human being. So when we now begin to try and see how we can do very well, working like dogs, there's a problem. That's why you know that those people that are trying to be dogs in America, there's a problem there. You see, because common sense dictates that there's a primary purpose to something. Government's primary purpose, security of lives and then properties, which are being lost purely in the east. You see, the one that you are talking about is in the south. In the east and the south now. Sorry, the north one, we are talking about it. In the east and the south now, they are killing people too. But nobody is talking about it.
Even Kwara is like the center of attraction.
Everywhere they are going, they're killing people. You see, the problem is that in the north, the people that are committing problems in the north can never be south. They are going to be northerners. Either they are northerners in Nigerian extraction or northerners from across the border. So, If you are coming from across the border, you will speak Fufude, which is the traditional language of the Fulanis. You probably would like to speak Hausa, which is another language, the lingua franca in that neighborhood. So anybody that listens to you, we don't know which language you are speaking. We just know that you can speak Hausa. You can be a Tuareg, you can be a Nigerian, you can be a Chadian, you will speak Hausa. Now, if you are coming to kidnap people in Nigeria or to kill people in Nigeria, you come to Nigeria, the reporter, the people that you say, he spoke Hausa now. So we really don't know who speaks Hausa. They say, Yoruba said that all the lizards are lying prostate. You don't know the one that has belly ekidia. So everybody is speaking Hausa. Which one is the Hausa that is a Nigerian Hausa? However, there is a Controller General of Customs and Immigration in Nigeria who are to man the border. Instead of them to man the border, you see them here running after vehicles up and down here. That's where you see the common sense approach to governance. It is at an all-time low. Customs man the border. Whatever passes through the border is your responsibility. Customs will come to Nigeria and tell us that the border of Nigeria is so wide that you cannot man all of them effectively. Meanwhile, you are deploying people here. We are seeing them on the road. Oyo to Ife, you will see them. Lagos to Ibadan, you will see them. They will be running after vehicles. If your vehicle looks new and they think that they will run after you. Meanwhile, you are closing eye. We know where they sell all these vehicles that don't have papers in Nigeria. They didn't go there to arrest them. It is when you drive your own towards Shagam that they will stop you. They will collect your vehicle. They say you are driving a righty. End of the story. You will never see the vehicle again. That's what the customs are doing in Nigeria. If policemen come out now, they will see the IG. We don't have enough people. We don't have manpower. Half of the Nigerian police force have been allocated to guide anybody that has $2 to rub together. It doesn't matter the source of his wealth. Once he has enough money to buy a Hilux Jeep and to apply to the commissioner of police in the state for security, he gets security. And what do the securities do? They guide him. They ensure that when they are on the road and there is traffic jam, he will pull into the one way and then start to blast and rain. That's the job of policemen in Nigeria. You can imagine when that state senator at the Abuja sex toy shop. Remember that story? The senator at the Abuja sex toy shop, when after he had that said it's from Maiduguri, Boko Abi, Haru Abi, Yaru Abi. When after slapping the woman, after doing all that to the woman, you know what he told the policeman that was attached to him? He said, arrest her. For no just cause, a big man can tell the police officer that he has to arrest you. It is the same madness that entered the late Ajimobi when he was addressing students under the bridge in there. And that boy challenged him on the bridge and he said, who? He said, Egbe boy here for me. It is the madness that enters into the mind psyche of the people in Nigeria who are deemed themselves above the others, that the policemen answer to them. I have seen people where in Nigeria where people use these policemen to abuse, and the policeman will not say, sir, calm down. I am here to uphold the law. On this matter, please, let everybody just...
A very sad situation.
Let everybody just... So you see the security architecture in Nigeria. And I'm afraid, now everybody is saying, state police, state police, state police, state police, state police. The governors are already like gods in their state. You will give them state police. You will give state police. The governor in Ogun State now has gone to pull down a structure under litigation between the state of Ogun and the immediate past governor, who is currently a senator. So they pulled down the structure that belonged to the wife of the governor. Without any... The governor is claiming now that he has no idea. It was Tout that went to do the work. Tout had access to tractors, caterpillars, or whatnot. Tout had access to go to policemen, to get police so that they can get security. When Governor Similai Fubara was going to was going to commit treason, by going to pull down the State House of Assembly. Treason, because under the doctrine of separation of power, no arm of government can interfere with the workings of the other arm of government. So you cannot go to court to say that they should not impeach you in the assembly. The court will not entertain your jurisdiction. No. The assembly cannot interfere with day-to-day running of the state, because that is the function of the executive. And the executive cannot interfere with the oversight of the assembly.
Hello.
Similarly, Fubara went to pull down the House of Assembly. He got policemen to follow him. The commissioner of police on that day is still commissioner of police. He has not been summarily stripped of rank. dishonorably discharged from the force, so that the next commissioner of police will have the sense to tell his governor,
a lot to unpack about insecurity
I answer
in
to
this country.
the Constitution. I do not answer to you. So when Wike was governor in the same River State, and somebody was said to have committed one offense, and they sent people from Abuja to come and arrest that person, didn't Wike at middle of the night carry the commissioner of police in River State to go and cordon off that house and then chase the other people back? Didn't we see it? Didn't we see when the acting chief judge of Nigeria, somebody went to sign a stupid warrant? You forgot? When that lady, what's her name? The wife of governor of River State before, Odili, Justice Mary Odili, was then the most senior Supreme Court justice, making her the acting chief justice of Nigeria. Policemen went to her house with false warrants.
Okay.
After all said and done, when she now called the chief magistrate and said, did you sign the warrant for them to come to my house? Because she had the number of the magistrate and they relate. It would not have happened to any normal Nigerian. And the chief said, no, they didn't say it was your house. So that was when, but till today,
we need to move on from this topic. Really,
nobody remembered the person who went to that house now. No policeman have been paraded, have been sanctioned, have been taken to court. None. So in Nigeria, to use the fella's word, security men are unknown soldiers. Once they come, and if you see, this is not, don't let me finish this point. Let me finish this point. If you go on the street now, today, carry your camera crew, go on the express road. Every car that you see that has no plate number, no form of identification, is a security vehicle. Every car that you see. I have parked my car on Lagos Ibadan Express Road for 30 minutes and I have counted. I have counted not less than 50. They were all with blue and red light. They were all Hilux Jeep models. They were all Jeeps. And what happened to them? They had no plate number front, no plate number at the back. And they were driving recklessly up and down. I've seen some of them inside the Ibadan too. They go up and down recklessly. They had no number.
Doctor.
Now, if that car jams somebody, wounds somebody, where is the sense of justice? How do you say that's the car when it doesn't have a number? Now, the Nigerian police allows car. Now, nobody stops it. If you drive a car without number, from immigration that has no business, we stop you. Customs will stop you. We are talking about security.
Definitely.
It is an embarrassment. This government has failed from the...
There's a lot to talk about.
So that they are killing people in the north. That girl that they killed in Sokoto, that girl that was preaching, Deborah, has anybody come to tell us this is where the investigation has reached?
It's an issue.
It is an issue.
Obvious. I mean,
has the press gone back to say, okay, let us even do a documentary there? No press organization in Nigeria. This is why I say that the Nigerian press organization, we are in cahoots with government.
No, I do not agree with that.
What don't you agree with?
I think it is hasty generalization.
No. Rex ipsa loquitur. The Latin people say the fact speaks for itself. There is no time.
The fact that some pressmen are not working do not mean that.
I'm not seeing the ones that are working.
Pressmen are not working.
I am not seeing the ones that are working. In this Oyo State, we had the bombing in Adeyi. We had the fire incidents in Challenge Market. The fire incident in Challenge Market is this close to the fire service center.
Okay, Doctor,
let's
move away from this topic so that we look at another issue.
What happened to them
this morning? Okay, it's a lot to unpack about insecurity.
There's a lot to unpack. We will unpack it. You see, it is like we are inside a swampy area. We are carrying cake. We are beating the swamp. We are beating the swamp. It will splash. Yours will splash to you. Government, yours will splash to government. And the people on the street, our own too, will splash to us. That's why we are here. We are not here to spare anybody. We are not here to look at Uche's face.
May good things splash on us, Doctor.
If we do good things,
because it is Monday, yes. All right, let's talk about another issue. I have this one that says, Serap gives Tinubu 7 days to review selection process for new INEC chairman. Is it not the right time for us to begin to look at how the selection of this INEC chairman can be done maybe without the president? Because Nigerians are saying because the president is the one that is in charge of electing the INEC chairman, a lot of things would definitely go wrong in the 2027 general elections. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think the federal government hasn't shown that they can be trusted. And to the best of my understanding, I still believe that the appointment of the INEC chairman still comes from the president, I think with approval from the Senate as it were. But under this current government, there's a lot of worries that we have in the sense that in the elections that have been held in the last, say, 2 years, since 2023, INEC has shown that they are the electoral arm of the APC. And when I use the word electoral, I'm struggling with words, so that's the best way I can just use. Meaning they are an arm, they are a directorate of the APC, basically. So you see a situation whereby, look at the Edo election, there's no reason why the current element that is appointed or announced as the governor should be governor in any case. The governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, his first term, there was no basis, there was no reason why he should come in also into that place. Like both the INEC and the judiciary has been lumped up together that you can't even see any difference. You can't even distinguish between the government functions and them also how they operate. So that is going to be a cause for concern going into the next election cycle. And the selection of the INEC chairman is going to let us know if they can be trusted enough. Because let's not forget that INEC has betrayed the trust of all Nigerians. In the last election cycle, you said you were going to use beavers. Okay. You touted it, you did the PR stunts, you moved around, you raised the hopes of Nigerians that we're going to have a free and fair election, and only for us to get to election day, you switched off the server. And we're giving us ridiculous excuses, technical glitches. And in this country, there was no consequences for it. That you collected billions of naira, both from the Nigerian government and external government or organizations, to conduct an election of that magnitude and with the purpose for which they were meant to use it. And you come out just barely, just less than 24 hours, and we're having question marks. So what were they doing throughout the years, the months leading to the election day? It was very clear that there was sabotage from within INEC. We've seen Wike's attitude also in influencing INEC commissioners being appointed, his cousins and the likes. We've also seen the attitude of the Lagos State INEC commissioner also, Mr. Shegun also. These are people that they let you know that, see, we are doing the wrong thing and there's nothing you can do about it.
Should the president still choose the INEC chairman?
Based on what, except the law, the statutes are changed. What is obtainable over time will still be what would happen right now. So if there needs to be change in that, I believe the laws maybe have to be adjusted to give that authority to the Senate. But let's not also forget that we have a rubber stamp Senate that does the bidding of the president. All the president needs to do is just express his desire, and the Senate president would run helter-skelter to get it done for him. So I don't have faith in Senate to even say they want to do anything. So I can only hope that the same way Jonathan appointed Jega and Jega still went ahead and conducted an election, that Jonathan didn't enter, even though we new information shows that Jega was also in the mix with a lot of sabotage and the likes. But at least it's possible that you can appoint a chairman and the chairman still goes ahead to conduct an election that you might lose. Okay,
let me turn to Doctor now. Doctor, appointing the INEC chairman, how far has it helped us in the elections, conducting of elections in Nigeria? And should we begin to look at how we can make sure that the INEC chairman is not a puppet to the ruling government?
You see, the problem is that there is no how. No how that's going to happen. You can see the American example now playing out. Okay. Trump is, I mean, everybody watching the election, we all saw that even if demons came to vote, they would never have voted for Trump. How did Trump get to the presidency? Twice. It's the second time that he's running now. He did the first time, they removed him. He came. This was a guy that was about to be sentenced to jail, and then suddenly he was returned. So sometimes when American people, when they come out and bring police and say, shut up, go back to your house. We know we are corrupt here. You are fantastically corrupt there. What are you talking about? How did you get that kind of clown? Tinubu, of course, now Tinubu to have supporters now, but Tinubu could not have been as bad as. He's not as bad as in Nigeria. Trump will never have won the state election, not talk of a federal election. But that guy is the president, and you can see every time that he appoints somebody, he appoints a case. You can see that as much as we tend to hype Americans because of American film, because of American characters, because of heroes in American histories, we forget that there are, of course, a whole army of sycophants, nincompoops, scallywags, and frank idiots in America. And also Trump is bringing those ones now to the fore. So rather than an Obama, we are seeing a Trump. Rather than people that has correct head.
But I would also
We are seeing them.
Based on that view, I think the problem actually in America is even the Obamas and the likes. They've captured the media, which I feel is what Tinubu is using in Nigeria. Is a very good organizational plan template to capture the imaginations of a country and do your bidding, but portray yourself as if you're a good person. Anybody that champions same-sex marriage, violation of children to have surgery at less than age 10 to change their body parts, sponsors and terrorism and the likes, I don't take them serious. Any country that religion is being trampled upon, suppressed, and the likes, which is basically the core of the Democrats in America. Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the likes. And I keep saying it, God save the whole world with the emergence of Trump. And it turns out that everything we think Trump has done that is even wrong and the likes, turns out not to be so. Because largely the media has already weaponized, the Democrats has weaponized the media. So an average person that has never met Trump, and that happened to a friend of mine that I still spoke to recently, and she was saying, Trump is evil, Trump is this, Trump, and I was like, okay, hold on. Have you heard him speak? No. Have you listened to him? No. So how do you know he's from here? And they said this, and that's how I was, like some 6 months, 8 months thereabouts. Sir. Sorry, sir. Until I went back and checked, and I realized that everything this man has said is just the sensible thing. Guard your country. Yes, guard your country. Don't allow individuals to migrate into your borders without being unchecked. Okay. Let children be children. Don't indoctrinate them with religion or any ideology. Let parents have a say in how their children are being taught. These are things that the Democrats have not allowed in America.
Doctor has a counter opinion.
Yeah. So that's because I had to bring that up because when it went the way of Trump and the likes, I can already tell that most of these views are largely formed by what we have heard over time. But I feel that, and which is my challenge to everyone, both on Nigeria and America, when issues like this pop up, let's take that pain a little again to dig a little further, because truly, when the media has been captured, which is another problem in the Nigerian front, why a lot of things that are happening we don't even seem to know, is because to a reasonable extent, whether we like it or not, the media has been captured. Gone are the days where the media was largely independent and like there are a lot of vested interests in the media today.
Can you respond?
Yes.
Okay. We started with Nigeria.
Yeah,
so
I know we just.
I don't know how
I know
we
we
ended up.
I just needed to.
The politics of it.
It's just unfortunate that unless you sit down with Trump, and then you listen to him. Well, I mean, for people who are not, just go and listen to him on the United Nations broadcast, the one that he did, the most recent broadcast, and then see whether he makes sense or he doesn't. And then from there, we can then interrogate where we are going or what we are going to do. I don't care what the policy of the Republican Party, even the Republican Party, when he removed Kimmel as when he interfered with the freedom of with the first right of amendment to speak in America, and he asked that the FCC removed Kimmel. Now that the FCC has not removed Kimmel, he has gone back to now start harassing the FCC. Now he has put suits against New York Times. This was a man that was going to jail. I mean, you cannot say a man that has been pronounced guilty by a competent court of jurisdiction in anybody's crime, as bad as Nigerian courts are. If you are pronounced guilty by our court here, then there's a problem. You cannot come out and say something is not right. You are guilty here, you are sentenced, and then you are elected to the presidency. And then all these things now were temporized so that you could go and become president, because that's the will of the people. They had a governor in Nigeria too who did that. One governor in Abia said that time he was in jail in Lagos, he was elected, and then he was brought back to become governor. That's how life used to be. So, but Tinubu, an election. In America, is the civil service that organizes the election. Can we trust the civil service to organize the Nigerian election? Over my dead body. The civil service cannot even run the government properly. So I'm not putting that in their domain. This one that INEC is doing, the president shall appoint the chairman. The Senate shall confirm him.
Okay.
Now, the president can appoint his friend. The Senate shall confirm the friend. If the Senate decides to confirm the friend, it is all a collective problem. You understand? Now, the problem that we have is that this Senate, we've not had. The Senate, the last time we had a good Senate in Nigeria was during Obasanjo's tenure. when he wanted Totam.
But what is going on actually? Because according to INEC, this particular Senate that came into this administration 2023,
The Akpabio-led Senate.
we had about 8 political parties, that make up the entire seat. The same thing for the House of Representatives, about 9 political parties.
Yes.
So what is going wrong?
There is nothing that is going wrong. What you see, this is what usually is going to happen.
Okay.
It is not a behemoth. PDP, APC, they are behemoths. They are national party. In America, you see Democrats and Republicans. There are independents. There are other. So there are smaller parties. You don't know them, but they are there.
They exist.
They exist. They don't go into the national things. They do state, they do county, they do whatever they want to do. They don't do national. Okay. We should need to start rearranging the law. When Peter Obi wanted to contest the 2023 elections and he went to Labour Party, I knew he would lose. You know why? We know it was obvious reading it from afar that there are 774 local governments in Nigeria. 774. So that makes it around 200,000 polling booths, 180-something thousand plus polling booths, what you need to cover. Labour did not have the capacity to field 2 agents across all the 180-something thousand polling booths in Nigeria. They didn't have it. In some centers, it was a PDP agent that was acted. They took somebody from PDP or APC, depending on the winning side, to come and act there. Where Obi got 100% of the vote were all Southeast states. All Southeast. Unfortunately, by getting 100% of the vote in Southeast states, he removed that vote from PDP. That was a calculation that Atiku did not calculate when he was fighting the governor, this G5, G6 governor, when they said he should remove Iyosha Ayu as the chairman of national chairman of PDP. When he was doing this political calculation, he did not factor in that the East, that usually vote for PDP, normally will go and vote somebody else. Unfortunately for the PDP calculation, Obi came into the race. Obi got ticket. Obi pulled the East out of the Nigerian calculation. Once that was done, go to the north and look at it. Atiku won northeast. He was coming here. When he got to Kano, Kwakwanso won 1 million in Kano. Obi got 500,000 votes in Kano. The margin between Tinubu's vote in Kano and Atiku's vote in Kano was enough to overwrite all the winning positions that Atiku had from the northeast. And Obi just went ahead to sweep the remaining part, which is why now Kwakwanso and Atiku and Tinubu. So the 2027 election be guarantee that 1.5 million vote lockdown in APC. What I will not say about Tinubu, he might not have done well for security. Politically, that guy can see. If they play politics like chess,
A1 politics, F9 government.
if they play politics like chess, that guy will defeat Magnus Carlsen any day of the week.
Speaking about politics, let's quickly link this to the issue of Pengassan and Dangote going on in the country at the moment. Now, let me start with you, Temitokwe. I have the headline that says, government steps in to resolve all union Dangote refinery rule. Labour Minister facilitate meeting between parties today. Pengassan is saying we are going to stop supply.
They stopped that thing.
To
Dangote.
They stopped it yesterday now.
And then they are saying they are embarking on strike, since yesterday.
What are they striking about again?
Because Dangote sacked about 800 workers.
1,200 thereabouts.
Some reporters are saying about 800 workers.
He said he restructured his company. What is the problem
So
now?
this is the thing. Looking at this case, when I read through it and followed it, there's an issue, and I think the law also needs to be very clear. I hope this incident also, because I feel this incident is going to be a basis for resolving subsequent issues like this moving on. A private entity, Dangote, doesn't want its workers to be members of the union. But because they are working in a sector that is heavily dominated by the government, by union also, Pegasus says no, that they want the rights of these workers to be covered also by them joining the union. So that's the crux of the matter. So Dangote is firm that he doesn't want it. And they've been going back and forth on this like for almost a month thereabout, with the federal government trying to intervene and the like, and there was nothing clear on it up until last week when I think more than half of the majority of the workers of Dangote refinery voted to join Pegasus. And less than 24 hours later, the memorandum came out from Dangote stating that they've sacked 1,200 plus workers, Nigerian workers, and cited the reorganization of the company and the likes to facilitate that. So I believe all of this is interwoven. So it's left to be seen how federal government is going to do this time around, because at this point it's clear that federal government has to intervene.
Let me talk to Doctor now before we go, because of time. How best can federal government handle this whole matter? Because there was a case with Nupeng too, just recently, really.
You see all these things that we're talking about, we are not going to progress in this country, ever. Ever.
Why?
You see, did NITEL progress with the unions? Did they progress? But when the service providers came to Nigeria, all the things that we didn't enjoy during NITEL, if it is NITEL time, do you think you will be broadcasting this thing on YouTube, or people will be watching you from their phone? Did we have a phone during NITEL time? NEPA, did we have anything to say during NEPA's time? Compare NEPA to now. It's the only part of the energy process in Nigeria that is causing problem till today is the Transmission Corporation of Nigeria, the one that is manned by government under the union leaderships. TCN is the only one that cannot upgrade his system to use more than the 4,000 megawatts of electricity that they have been using since. If you move it by 1 megawatt, they will say grid collapse. Every time there's a grid collapse. But meanwhile, to offset that problem, the federal government is paying the GENCOs the balance between the energy that is produced and the energy that is transferred. So they are paying subsidy to GENCOs because the TCN cannot function and government cannot move against them.
Is there a solution to all of this?
Fire the bloody TCN and get it out of the way and put it under bureau of privatization. Okay. Let somebody buy it up.
Okay.
And then let this union come. The same. This is when Dangote was building $20 billion refinery, Pengasan, Nupeng, they were taking check dues from their worker to do exactly what? Nothing. Okay. So when you joined this company, let us bring it home. When you joined this company, did Ratawu come here?
It's a conversation that will definitely continue.
No.
Because of time, Doctor, we need to go.
When the Nigerian Union of Teachers, I have said it here before.
Okay.
The union that is in charge of Nigerian Union of Teachers is the Nigerian Union of Teachers. The one for principal are the ANCOPs.
We'll come back to
all the private schools in Nigeria are not under AUT. They are not under ANCOPs. All the private universities in Nigeria are not under ASU. All the private things in Nigeria are not under. So suddenly, because of the money, because we know that. Do you know that they collect per tanker that loads at the gantry per tanker? So this is the same Pengasan that came to tell us sometimes this year.
Okay.
Last year during Buhari's tenure that the Port Harcourt refinery was functioning and they were lifting fuel. They told us. Even the president of the Tanker Association, Gilly Harris, he came to tell us that they are all lifting fuel.
Doctor, a meeting is going to happen today between the federal government, the leadership of Dangote, and of course the leadership of Pengasan. So let's expect the outcome. I expect
that they tell Pengasan to go home and shut up.
Okay.
Permanently.
Okay.
Because you cannot ask me.
Let's see how it will play out, Doctor. We need to go.
I cannot buy 4,000 trucks into this country and put them 6 person per truck to monitor, to drive, to service. That's 24,000 jobs. And then you now come and you now tell me that all those people, they will now be at the... Somebody can just call a strike somewhere and
we
then
need
they must
to go,
follow
Doctor.
them.
All right. It's a fine place to leave it this morning. The conversation will continue. Big thanks to Temitope Eshola for joining the conversation. And of course, Dr. Babatunde Babasoye. Sometimes when it comes to the issues of politics, we're allowed to disagree, sometimes agree.
Absolutely.
It's a fine place to leave it. Thank you for being a part of the segment. Please stay with us. Big story may come up soon. And Samson Balogun is waiting. We'll be right back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. And this is the big story, where we break down history, culture, and current affairs that shape our world. Today we turn our attention to a defining moment in Yoruba history, the coronation of the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land. Samson Balogun is my name. The stool of the Olubadan is not just a throne. It is a symbol of resilience, heritage, and the heartbeat of Ibadan people. Every coronation marks a new chapter in the cultural and political history of Yoruba land. Of course, the grandeur becomes today's lessons, and today's legacy becomes tomorrow's history. At the historic Mapo Hall in Ojoba, Ibadan, the coronation of the 44th Olubadan brought together eminent dignitaries and leaders. In attendance were President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, governors from across Southwest, traditional rulers of Yoruba land, including the Oni of Ife, whose representative was there, Alaafin representatives and himself, and the leading Mogajis and Bales. Also present were national lawmakers, captains of industries, and the cultural custodians, testifying to the importance of the occasion not only to Ibadan, but to Nigeria as a whole. At the center of it all stood Oba Rasheed Adewolu Ladoja, Arusa I, now the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land. Born on the 25th of September 1994 and coincidentally became the 44th Olubadan. Oba Ladoja is not only a traditional ruler but also a statesman, businessman, and respected politician. He once served as the governor of Oyo State from 2003 to 2007. Prior to that, he was a senator, and is widely known for his progressive leadership, grassroots connection, and dedication to Ibadan's development. With his ascension as Olubadan, history now remembers him not only as a governor, but as a custodian of Ibadan's cultural heritage. And to help us reflect on this historic day and its meaning, we are honored to have with us as distinguished voice His Royal Majesty, they call him Obanla Adimola of Yoruba Kingdom, Oba Ayedun Adeola Yinka. And he's a historian and a cultural ambassador. He brings not just knowledge, but lived experience and depth to this conversation. Good morning once again. Thank you for joining us. I have with me in the studio Oba Ayedun Adeola Yinka, Obanla Adimola of Yoruba Land. Good to have you in the studio once again.
Good morning. I'm glad to be with you.
On Friday,
yes,
26th of September, history was made. Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rasheed Adewolu Ladoja, was installed, given staff of office by the Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Abiodun Oluwaseyi Makinde. Coincidentally, he was born in the year 1944 and became the 44th Olubadan.
Quite correct.
How much of an history was made at the historic Mapo Hall on Friday?
It was a situation of what we can truly call high story that was recorded, and which of course is making today and tomorrow's history, as we can see. Oba Rasheed Adewolu Ladoja made that great record for being the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land. Hitherto, as said, he had been a very shrewd and prosperous and then blossoming businessman across the globe. He veered into politics and he made it as senator. He went on peeping at the throne. That's some 30-something years back. And he joined the League of Mogajis of Ibadan. Thereafter, he became governor of Oyo State, where he made tremendous impact on the lives of the people of Oyo State, which endeared him so much that Oba Rasheed Adewolu Ladoja is taken and seen and embraced as little God of his own people. So much loved and respected. But on the 26th of September, the history was such that prior to the day, Ibadan witnessed a humongous influx of human traffic dignitaries from across the globe. It was reported that the booking reservations were all filled. I can attest to the fact that some other people came late or something, and then Adebayo was there. Yeah. We were to enter into the arena at the same time. People came from Lagos, I can remember the likes of Deputy Governor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Senator Koforola Akirele Bokno was there. We were together. And when you now look at what actually happened, the coronation took a new dimension. Modernity came into it full-fledged, in the sense that the caliber of Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja had been taken into the preparation for how the day will go, and that brought in a little bit of modernization to the coronation pattern, which hitherto had been. So, and to some of us, at least I can say I've witnessed probably 10 to 12 coronations in Ibadan land before. So, and I can see the great difference.
When you talk about the difference, now, how much of how much has the modernity brought into the coronation? Has it affected it or watered it down or made it greater than people would expect it to be?
Actually, it has made it greater that the Ibadonians, that is sons and daughters of Ibadan, they cannot but chest out to say, oh, we are Ibadan people, can you see, you know, unlike Omawanio say syndrome, unlike Ibadan Lumo Omolaibu, unlike Ibadan Kiniso. You know, I was discussing with Senator Koforola Bokno, and I was saying that Eko for show, Ibadan for the lead. So that you are coming to learn some few things here today. Although each you agree that, well, if it to be in Lagos, this and that or something, I say, yes, that's true. But we are injecting a new dimension into the system.
Would you say what we witnessed on Friday, the personality of the king, did it play a role in how great the event was?
Oh, sure. That's the major factor. That is the major factor. Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja is a force in the business sector. It's a force in the political game plan of Nigeria. And it's a force when you talk about tradition, because here is a man of grassroots living. He believes in his people, and his people believe in him so much. So all this put together cannot but, there are a lot of white people that you may not know, whether as business partners or as some of the friends of his businesses and all the rest, that were there as well. And then when you now consider bringing together the likes of the Sultanate seat, Sultan was there, the Igbo people were there, all the Yoruba Obas, the paramount rulers from each states and cities, they were all there. Now talk of chiefs, eminent people, talk of political gladiators, they were all there. Now, when you consider all these things put together, crowning it happens to be the first time the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be live
and grace the coronation.
Yes. So it was an occasion of grandiose.
Now let's talk about traditional rulers in the southwestern part of the country.
Okay.
Recently, we have seen more or less like a resurgence in the feud between the Alaafin of Oyo and the Oni of Ife. And then the Oni of Ife was not present. The Olojo festival was going on in Ile-Ife.
Yeah,
and
got caught up in that.
Yes, and Alaafin Oyo was right here. The Shawon of Ogbomoso also on seat, the Oluwo of Iho, the Olugbo of Igbo Kingdom. So many great rulers from different kingdoms were present. Do you see Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja as a unifying factor amongst the Yoruba kings as we speak?
Definitely, he has a role to play. He's conscious of that, and he's been tapping at it to be a unifying factor as to this question of autonomy and supremacy within the Yoruba Obaship life. You see, Oba Rashid Ladoja happened to be somebody who had been destined for greatness. Simply is a very humble man, highly intelligent, and very principled. That's who Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja. And so for this, he cannot but be engaged as a charismatic leader. He is to be able to balance the scale of tilt between the royal brothers.
All right, let me ask you this very quickly. After the coronation of the last Olubadan, the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan land, there were insinuations that the usual rites were not performed. And on Friday, the new Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, the Arusa the first, was seen at the Labosinde house, and after that he moved to the Osemeji temple, and then straight to the Mapo Hall, all within the Ojaoba environment where the said rites were performed. Do you see, if you compare this and the last one, since Friday, no one has talked about rights. Does it mean it was done the right way compared to what was said the last time?
It was done the right way. Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja was into Ikwebi prior to coming out to go for the, what we call away, the Akoko leave from Labosinde house. And from there will be the concluding rite at the Osemeji shrine, the temple, which was done, which was observed, and from there, as a matter of fact, that is where the king is made. This presentation of staff of office and all that is just
ceremonial.
Political high-handedness. Forget it. You know, it's just part of the things that have been manipulated in the early days of the First Republic and all the rest of it, you know. Traditional institutions supposed to be autonomous and independent of these political subjugation and all the rest of it. But you see, Oba Ladoja was made king because it was from Labosinde's house that he moved, having taken the right there too of the Iwe, now to the Osemeji temple, where the concluding rites were to be made, were performed, and there he will be crowned and becoming Oba. That's where he will prostrate sometimes, and which that will never happen again till he passes.
That will be the last time he prostrates to anyone.
Yes, all these things. So all these were done perfectly well. So he was properly installed. And then so it will be after all these ones that it will now, the crown will be set on his head and he becomes traditional ruler, Oba, and all the people there will have to prostrate to him that he has now become Oba, father to all, you know. The Obaship institution in itself, you know, it's all about occupying the prestigious throne of the ancestors, which is at the leadership of trado-social life of the natives. So they are seen as Ibakeji Orisha, second to God, because it's believed that after God, the Oba is the one representing the God on earth. And so that is where the prestige, the honor, the glamour is at the highest, even far, far, far above that of the political offices as in governorship or presidency, you know. So it was done that way, and then it played out the way it should. See, everybody, the moment he pull out of the Osemiji shrine, now the whole world will be at his feet, prostrating Kabiesio, that is, long may you reign, you know. So up until when even the only person that I would have expected to be there that was not there, that would have testified to this that we are saying now, would have been the person of Obasanjo, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Honestly, you could have seen him prostrating to Kabiyesi, not minding former head of state, former president of Nigeria, Balogun of Owu and all that.
What would that have meant to former president Olusegun Obasanjo, judging by the fact that he was instrumental in how he was removed from office while he was governor, and then was returned back to office, yes, with the feud between the two, and eventually he was able to come back to office and finish his tenure as the governor of the state. Now being the Kabiyesi, of course, at the Olubad of Ibadan land, what do you think would have transpired between the two if he had been present?
Oh, well, I don't see any big deal. It's only the petty minds and the people who may not understand what, you see, what happened between them then was a circumstantial rancor. And then in politics, it's been slogan as no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. We only have permanent interest. Before that time, they had been friends, and after it, and think of it, Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja himself is a man of simple life, objective in his approach to issues. He will have known it that, that happened in the political days. He's no longer active in politics. As he told me, even before he ascended the throne, while just before Obalakule passes on. Okay, as at the time they were talking about he must go for the pre-Olubadanship crown. Otherwise, that they wouldn't ascend, more so that it had been passed into law and is already gazetted and all that. So, and we were discussing, I was discussing with him in his house that day, and he told me that I shouldn't bother my head, that what does it matter? That he's not keen, he's not desperate. He said, look, see him as governor of former governor of Oyo State. If by way of protocol that there is going to be any social or any function, the moment the sitting governor is recognized and honored, it is he himself, Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja, that will be recognized after as former governor of Oyo State. Not even CJ, not even deputy governor, not even commissioners, before it comes to the Obas. The Obas will have been in the fourth reckoning, in the 14th figure reckoning, where that will be. So he said, so what's his headache? That if God destines him to be, that it will be. Then, getting there, is just for him to serve the interest of his people, as he had always been. He loved Ibadan people. He loves them so much. He's always thinking of how to improve the lives and then situation around the Ibadan people and Ibadan city. That had been his mindset, and he had been playing it. Give it to him. You see, while he was governor.
Talking about interest.
Yes.
Kings are meant to liaise with the government to get things done in their different communities. We saw something play out at the coronation. The new Olubadan of Ibadan land making some request to the president of Nigeria saying, look, the Ibadan people want Ibadan state. And I feel, and I think, and I know you can do it. It was telling the people to appreciate the president for agreeing to create Ibadan state. Is that Oba already, performing his responsibility as the king?
Yes, precisely. Oba Rashid Adewolu Ladoja, what I in Ibadan dialect jokingly will say accent man, accent. Here he is always a man of action. He determined to serve his people, and he did not allow a second to slip by. That's what he did. When he was made governor, that time, after in his speech, he said he gave the Water Corporation people in Oyo State, I think 24 or 48 hours, within which water must flow, pipe-borne water must flow in Ibadan city. So that was it on Saturday or Friday? Anyway, lo and behold, before Monday, Sunday night, as to Monday morning, when Ladoja promised that he will be at the Water Corporation, if water will not flow, that all the people should just willingly resign and pack out of their employment.
And there was water everywhere.
And water flowed. Water flowed. You see, this was part of the things that endeared him so much to Ibadan people. Perhaps as a rich and comfortable man, which of course we all know, they don't spend money in heaven. So what will he do with the money? He's not out to embezzle money. He's a flourishing businessman, and then, so with that position, it's just to use it to the advantage of his people's welfare. And he did that perfectly well. Mark you, it is on record that when Nigeria became independent, the colonial masters, the roads like Ibadan, Oyo Road being the first third road then, and in the days of these colonial masters. Now our people took over, and then the First Republic, that is in the period of Awolowo, Zik, and Sadana of Sokoto, and the rest of them. Yeah, they constructed some roads and all that. During the military took over, there was this military administrator, or military governor, if you like, Colonel David Medaishe Jemi Benwon. Oh, he did wonders. After Awolowo, the politicians were booted out of office. Then when the military took over, Jemi Benwon improved a lot on what the First Republic political gladiators achieved, as in Liberty Stadium, the WNTV, WNBS, the free education, they did that. So it was Jemi Benwon that made that impact again. He constructed that at the old shopping complex, the flyover across the, government secretariat in Agodi, the Adama Simba Stadium, and some of these other roads, whether they call it Jemi Benwon, this one, that one. And then, so after that, it was Bola Ige that came into office and improved on the educational facilities for the people, giving them lockers. Then they created morning and afternoon session for the class tutorials, the class tuition. So, but when Oba Rashid Ladoja came in, that was part of his achievements, which can never be robbed away, or perhaps we are still hoping that some other people can match it. Because after him, Oba Rashid Ladoja came in, the then Senator Ladoja as the governor. He met a situation of 120, 125 pupil students in a classroom. He reduced it back to 25 in a classroom. He engaged more teachers to be able to take them adequately. He built more classrooms. What you call these model schools.
We really wish we can finish this today, but our time is fast spent. We simply have to go. But most definitely, this is a topic we'll discuss some other time and make it a little bit more, at least more robust, and then have a deep conversation as regards the new Olubad of Ibadan land. We say a very big thank you for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And we hope to hope you some other time and discuss tradition and culture.
That'd be nice.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, good people at home.
All right, the coronation of the 44th Olubado is more than an event. It is history unfolding before our very eyes, a bridge between the ancestors and the future generations. As we reflect on this moment, may we hold firmly to the values of culture, unity, and leadership it represents. That wraps up the big story on Daybreak Live. Today, many thanks to my guest in the studio, Oba Ayedun Adiola Yinka Obanla Ademola of Yoruba Kingdom, for sharing his wisdom with us. Until next time, keep celebrating history. Keep embracing culture and keep shaping the future. I am Samson Balogun. Up next is Trend Watch.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Now it's time for Trend Watch, and Yemi Adelakun is still here with me in the studio, which will be making sense of trends on social media.
Definitely, I'm glad to be back here. Welcome.
Good to have you back.
We have a story, and then it's something that is causing a lot of, argument online. Kwakwaso, we welcome them to APC as madmen returning to vomit. That's coming from Ganduje. That's the former APC chairman of this country. What do you make of that statement? Don't you think the word vomit, I get it, it's sarcasm to say we welcome you back because you once called it a vomit. Definitely welcome you back to the vomit. But what do you make of that statement, really?
You see, when he was talking about vomit, he wasn't talking about the APC. It was just an expression saying, look, this is what you said you will never be a part of, and then you are coming back to it. And, this is not just about the APC. It's about the long-standing feud between these two people. They used to be friends, and Ganduje was, Kwankwaso was governor, then handed over to Ganduje before.
Ganduje was even deputy governor.
Yes, was deputy governor with him.
Yes.
So they had been together for a long time, and they used to have things in common until politics broke them apart, and they have been having issues back and forth. But one thing was clear: when Ganduje was made the chairman of the APC, Kwankwaso had in mind that he was senior to Ganduje when it comes to politics. He was governor before him. He was his deputy. Ganduje was his deputy, and he just did not wanted to be a part of any political party that had Ganduje as the chairman. In fact, at the point when Ganduje was asked to step aside as the chairman of the APC, some people already had the permutation in their heads like, it was because Kwankwaso was coming back and he wouldn't want to be a part of an APC where Ganduje was the chairman. But the president had other motives, and since Ganduje left the position as the chairman of the APC, and Iwada was made the chairman, we are still not seeing Kwankwaso in the APC. But there have been a lot of what we call rumors, and without smoke, without fire, there is no smoke, actually. So most definitely there's something going on. Probably there were negotiations going on, and Ganduje heard about it, and that's why this claim is. Because if there is nothing happening, I don't think Ganduje will come and have this kind of statement on the paper.
I was even surprised because it was a meeting that was held in the north, over the weekend. When I saw this, I was like, how did Kwankwaso and Ganduje get to this point? They were close friends. I've seen pictures of them online where they took together when they were in government together. So I don't know how they got to this point. He also said something very critical, that Kwankwaso mentioned that Tinubu developed Lagos alone, and of course, the north is marginalized. So why is he, so interested in coming back to the APC? Kwankwaso has not even said anything on whether he's going to come to the APC or not. If Kwankwaso should stay in his party, it's still going to be politically relevant because he won his stay.
Over 1 million votes.
Definitely. So
that's a lot.
Whether he decides to cross over to the APC or not, Kwankwaso will still remain a very popular person in the politics of Nigeria. As it were. So I really do not see, the point of this statement coming from Ganduje. I do hope that is politics, really, because I do not believe that they are permanent enemies in politics. We've seen cases whereby some persons will come and throw jabs at each other online, and you will see them in a particular party, a political party, shaking hands, eating together.
And that's the master of it all is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So
we have seen him one and then with people who people are judged to be his enemies, and then he really doesn't care.
Definitely.
Let's take some comments.
Let's take comments. Partigi AM is saying he's scared of becoming irrelevant politically. He also has no stake left in Kano. If Kwankwaso returns to APC, Ganduje will be finished completely. I do not agree. Yes, Kwankwaso is a great threat to Ganduje in the APC. He knows his capacity. So it's
but together they can do better than what NNPP did in Kano State.
Maybe Kwankwaso might outshine Ganduje a little bit. I'm not sure about that.
But most definitely Ganduje will have a contribution. So he still stays relevant in the party.
You were former chairman of that political party.
Right.
Honestly, another comment, King Kelvin is saying Ganduje has every right to fight for what really belongs to him. Tinubu is actually playing the North. Let's not conclude on that.
That's a conclusion that
is playing the North. I really do not agree with that comment.
Not right.
J. Mari is saying, so APC's vomit. I see what Ganduje did there, because me, I see
it was just an expression. I want to believe that was just an expression, really. And that doesn't really mean that he was talking about the APC as vomit. So
but the media now.
Someone wants to rat him out to say something else.
Yeah. So the last comment this morning got on FTB saying APC. I don't want to say that. It's still talking about the issue of vomit coming from Ganduje. Let's not agree that on that note that APC is vomit, regardless of the fact that it's coming from the former national party, national chairman of that party. I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning.
Right.
Let's see whether in the next 2 weeks we'll see them together, shaking hands and taking pictures.
If they do, that means
this is Nigeria. Don't be shocked.
Just like we said earlier, that there's no permanent enemy, no permanent friend in politics. The only only thing that matters is permanent interest. And that's
and
it. That's all that matters
to
politicians, actually.
Definitely.
Thank you for being a part of the show so far. We simply have to go. Our time is fast spent on the show today. As I always say, champions are not made in the stadium. They are made of something deep inside of them. So, as the day breaks, you have the chance to rewrite your own history and be great. Samson Balogun is my name. Let's meet again, same station, same time tomorrow, and of course, the same program.
Thank you for being a part of the show. Before I go, let me inform you that whether you dream small or big, at the end of the day, the dream is yours. My name is Oluwayemi Adelaku. I'm saying good morning. Have a great day.
Daybreak.